It's been a day of great political excitement and drama. Narendra Modi scored his expected hat-trick in Gujarat, getting 115 seats. Yet, some BJP spokespersons say Modi has underperformed. And we'll soon tell you much more about the politics now unfolding around the man who has become the BJP's de facto political heavyweight.
But we'll also talk about the fact that Congress has had a small slice of revenge, turning the tables of the BJP in Himachal Pradesh, a state that usually throws out its incumbent.
And Modi's win was celebrated across Gujarat and much of India with crackers and laddus and placards calling for him to become the BJP's next prime ministerial candidate. But party spokespersons flatly refused to comment on this. Take a look at a debate we had earlier on NewsX this morning. Narendra Modi has presented himself to the people of Gujarat as their chief minister for the next 4 or 5 years, and within, that on the day that, he's elected, we're already hearing talk that he actually won't serve them, that he'll come to New Delhi.
You're already hearing talks from where?
Well, we're hearing talks from your party, we're hearing talks from workers from the BJP all across the country.
I think talking about anything else but the victory in Gujarat and the way in which the Chief Minister and the party there has worked all the while, not just for 5 years and 10 years, to keep every promise which was given to the people of Gujarat in 2007.
Here's what the latest numbers actually look like. Of the 182 seats, the BJP has won 115. Far above the 92 halfway mark, but it has also won 2 less seats than it did in 2007.
On the other hand, the Congress has 61 seats, 2 seats more than last time. Keshubhai Patel's GPP has got just 3 seats, and he probably regrets leaving the BJP.
But comfort for Keshubhai came from an unexpected source. Narendra Modi himself paid a surprise visit to the rebel candidate and offered him a box of mithai, a curious gesture of conciliation and perhaps condolence.
Let's also just tell you about Himachal Pradesh. The BJP's Prem Kumar Dhumbal was sunk by the Congress's old war horse, Veerbhadra Singh over there. The Congress has won 36 out of 68 constituencies, the BJP in 26, the others in 6. That'll set Veerbhadra Singh on track to become the chief minister for the 6th time in the state, despite the fact that he's facing trial for corruption.
But there's no doubt that the real result India got today was not just the elections in Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh, but the fact it has now been resolved Narendra Modi is the de facto stalwart in the BJP, and that he looks headed right to the national capital, perhaps to become the BJP's next prime ministerial candidate. We're going to be joined in the show by a large number of guests. With us in the studio, we have Dilip Cherian, also Ijaz Ilmi.
Let's also just remind our viewers of our guest, Dr. Sambit Patra, spokesperson of the Delhi BJP, Dr. Manoj Jha, national spokesperson of the RJD, Shivraj Singh, national secretary of the JDU, Amarjit Kaur, national secretary of the CPI, Ijaz Ilmi, political analyst. Dilip Cherian has just joined us, Image Guru. Thanks very much, all of you, for joining us.
We're also going to be joined by Shrikant Jena. I don't know if you read that name or not, the Congress minister. And, let's just start with this issue. I mean, the fact is, as we said, the key result today was not that Modi won, but that Modi is coming to Delhi. I think that's what the win has established. And yet, Sambit Patra, your party, all the spokesperson we've spoken to the whole day, just seem loath to acknowledge this fact. Why? Why this shyness on Modi's future agenda and that Delhi is his next stop?
No, there is no shyness, as I've always been saying. It is only that we don't have the capacity to comment on it, and only the parliamentary body of the party would be taking a decision on this at a right time, right forum, and when the time is ripe.
But the BJP leaders, a lot of the spokespersons today, have not been expressing the kind of excitement at Modi's win that one would imagine. How many times has the chief minister win for the 3rd time in a row, and that too at roughly the same margin as the previous time?
Jujhar, the excitement is palpable. Everyone in BJP is in fact celebrating the victories with Mithai Ka Dabba, as in fact Jahangir said a while ago, and we all are overjoyed with the victory that Mr. Modi has achieved for us.
I'll tell you how excited Rajiv Pratap Rudy was.
Yeah.
He said it's a modest victory. And I'll tell you how excited Shishadri Chari was. He said, well, even Modi would have expected to do better. We wanted 125. In fact, we wanted 140.
Okay,
it,
we've just
it is
been-
almost, as I have been
Yeah.
telling you, I remind you, it is almost in line with the ad that we see, that Cherian is there. He would also agree with me. Dil mange more, you know, that kind of
It
thing.
could
they were
be
coming
Dil
out
mange
with.
more, or it could be that Dil not mange Narendra Modi in Delhi.
That's right, that's right. You are reading between the lines which are not written. That's a
I'm not
fact.
sure I totally
That is a
understand
joke.
that. But let me ask Dilip Cherian,
between the
you just
lines,
joined
everything is not
the... Dilip,
written.
here's the
The
central
lines are not
question.
written, in fact. The lines are not written between which they are trying to read.
Nobody likes a balance of power to be, unbalanced. And now you have Narendra Modi. He is going to come to Delhi and he is going to wreak havoc in the city, not just with the Congress, but even within the BJP and its very comfortable relationships and all the quid pro quos that exist and all the cabals that exist. This outsider is going to come here and he is going to rock their boat.
But it will be a gala
First of
time
all,
for the journalists.
I think Narendra Modi is not an outsider to Delhi. He understands Delhi's politics quite well. Secondly, I think as a BJP strongman, he definitely is something that Delhi is looking forward to, because the real big elephant in the room, which nobody is discussing, which is going to be out in the open in the next few days, is the question of the next BJP president. So when that issue is resolved, which is not going to be Narendra Modi, because he's got a job to do, then the real politics of one party will start. But inevitably, as we know, in the world of images, other parties start responding depending on the images
But
that are being thrown up.
It's a simple thing. I mean, is there any doubt in your mind that today Narendra Modi is a stalwart in the BJP? He stands heads and shoulders over any other leader in the party. Is there any doubt about that?
I think he stands head and shoulders, but as the results show, he is really Gujarat's strongman. It's a different thing that given the state of polity in this country at the moment, the images of a country that is desperate for some serious leadership. There is a huge leadership vacuum which this country and its citizens are feeling. Therefore, it's going to rock the boat. And it's not just one boat that Narendra Modi is going to rock. He's going to rock several boats, including that of Nitish Kumar.
Okay, well, we'll come to Nitish Kumar and the JDU as well. But look, Sambit Patra, you said everyone is celebrating. I'm not sure I agree with that particular word, because there's at least one man who's wondering why his re-election as BJP president didn't happen. It was supposed to happen, a couple of days ago. It's been pulled back. Clearly, Narendra Modi's entry into the BJP, when a man of his stature enters the political room of New Delhi, others are going to have to make room for him.
See, it's a very technical issue. The election of the president for the party.
Okay, so now it's technicalities.
It would be possible only when. No, yes, it's a technical issue.
Thank
Actually,
God
it's
for
an election.
technicalities. We actually have to answer the question.
Because 50% of the elections of the states have to be completed for the national president to be elected, and we are still behind, lagging behind in time. And let the 50%.
That's very convenient.
No, it's not. It is the reality. It is technicality.
We never heard it before in BJP.
No, it is in the constitution. It is there. It's the rule. We have to follow it.
And that is done very quickly when they want to do it.
Is the
There
JDU
is
happy
something
that
behind.
Narendra Modi has become the de facto, heavyweight in the BJP?
Earlier also he was a heavyweight.
But now he is the heavyweight.
Let him be.
We're not saying whether
Now-
you're happy or
now
not.
the ball
Are
is-
you happy that he is
No.
the heavyweight who's just got heavier?
No, and now it is the
I'm
ball.
not sure your boss is very happy. Is Nitish Kumar going to be really happy that Narendra Modi has become what he has today?
He was earlier also a heavyweight. He is now also a heavyweight, a chief minister of such a big state. He is a heavyweight. And I'll reiterate, which Nitish Kumar has said recently, that this is for the BJP to take a call that who will be the prime ministerial candidate. Let them decide. We are rock solid behind NDA. As Mr. Cherian said, that he will rock the boat of JDU. We are rock solid as NDA partners. Let me say that.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's rocked the boat of the Keshubhai Patel's GPP.
That is done.
Let's just introduce Mukund Joshi, leader of the GPP, who now joins us from Ahmedabad. Mr. Joshi, Narendra Modi has steamrolled over your party. I'm sure you're disappointed. Can he be stopped from Delhi now?
पार्डन आप जरा हिंदी में बताएंगे क्या?
हाँ, जो नरेंद्र मोदी है, उन्होंने जो आपका जो जीपीपी का जो चुनौती था, उसको तो सफलता से क्रॉस कर दिया है. अब वो दिल्ली का रास्ता उनके लिए खुला है क्या?
ऐसा है, चुनौती तो कांग्रेस से उनको थी, हम तो नए नए पार्टी लेके आए थे। 6 अगस्त को पार्टी बनी। 17 तारीख को जब चुनाव हुआ उसके 1 महीने पहले हमें चुनाव चिन्ह मिला था। वैसे इतने कम समय में
जोशी जी, आप आपके चुनाव चिन्ह के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं। जब हम गुजरात में थे अभी हाल ही में, तो आपके जो नेता थे, जीपीपी के नेता, वो हमें कह रहे थे कि जो आपका जो चुनाव चिन्ह है क्रिकेट बैट, जो कि बहुत एक पॉपुलर लोकप्रिय चिन्ह है, उसके साथ आप बीजेपी का एक छक्का उड़ाएंगे। क्या हो गया वो छक्का का? वो तो हिट विकेट हो गया उसी बैट के साथ।
अरे आप समझ लो, इसी बैट से अगर हमने 2 रन भी लिए हैं तो वो कम नहीं है, क्योंकि बीजेपी की रचना 1950 में हुई थी। उनको 2 रन लेने के लिए 14 साल तक राह देखनी पड़ी थी। 1967 में उनकी पहली 2 सीट आई थी। मतलब ये हुआ कि 15 साल के बाद उनकी 2 सीटें आई थी। हम तो समझ लो 3 महीने के अंदर ही ये 2 सीट लेके भी आ गए हैं। तो ये छक्के वाली बात नहीं हुई, मगर 2 रन तो हमने जरूर ले लिए हैं। खाता खोल दिया है।
इंडियन क्रिकेट टीम इज परफॉर्मिंग नाउ।
नहीं, तो इसका क्या मतलब? जीपीपी आपका आगे क्या होगा? 2 रन के बाद आप डिक्लेयर कर रहे हैं कि सेकेंड इनिंग्स भी होने वाला है।
नहीं, आगे इससे कहीं ज्यादा अच्छा होने वाला है। अगर शुरुआत इतनी अच्छी है तो इसका जो अंत है तो वो तो बहुत ही अच्छा रहने वाला है। आप याद कीजिए, बीजेपी एक जमाने में लोकसभा में सिर्फ 2 सीटें लेके आई थी। उस समय अटल जी और आडवाणी जैसे उम्मीदवार भी उनके हार गए थे। फिर भी आज समझो कहां तक पहुंचे हैं। तो हम भी इसी पार्टी के गोत्र से निकले हुए हैं। वही ताकत, वही रुतबा और वही आत्मविश्वास के साथ हम भी चलने वाले हैं।
ठीक है। Fact is, Narendra Modi is on the way to Delhi. He's steamrolled the GPP, even though it's a new party. But the key issue is, while many are celebrating this as, you know, a great moment for the BJP, where a new leader has arisen, a new savior has risen, the fact is it could also be a little difficult for the party and some of its big leaders. Let's take a look.
The moment that said it all, remember Modi's snubbed handshake attempt at the CM's conference. The first and perhaps the biggest point of friction for Narendra Modi will be the Nitish Kumar factor. For as long as we remember, both have hardly minced words in spelling out the conflict. In 2009, the JDU had opposed Modi campaigning in Bihar for assembly elections there. Nitish objected to the Gujarat government ad that showed him with Modi. The next year, Nitish returned Modi's 5 crore aid for victims of the Kosi floods. And this year, as Modi accused Bihar's politicians of casteism, he faced a backlash from Nitish, asking him to get his own house in order first.
बिहार किसी समय कितना शानदार राज्य था। वहां के जातिवादी नेताओं ने उस राज्य को तबाह करके रख दिया। हम गुजरात के दुर्दशा नहीं होने देंगे।
लोगों को अपने हालात के बारे में सोचना चाहिए। बिहार सब प्रकार की कमजोरियों, बीमारियों से लड़ते हुए अब आगे के रास्ते पर अग्रसर हो चुका है और हम लोग ज्यादा दूसरों पर कमेंट नहीं करते।
Extending to the demand that the NDA's PM candidate be secular and an assurance on that from the BJP.
एक बात सुन लीजिए, golden words are not repeated.
Pull out further for a bigger picture of Modi within the NDA. Decidedly for him, there's the RSS, the Akalis of Punjab, and prospective ally AIADMK of Tamil Nadu. On the anti-Modi front, there's the JDU, Biju Janata Dal, and another prospective ally, the TDP. It's a popularity that the BJP has to weigh the pros and cons of closely. Losing the Muslim vote bank, after all, can be no easy trade-off. There are big decisions in the offing. Bureau Report, NewsX.
Ijaz Ilmi, Narendra Modi may gladden the hearts of many in the BJP and the RSS, but he's also going to strike fear in many hearts. Do you see him coming here and upsetting these delicate relationships that BJP leaders have constructed within themselves and shaking up power equations in the party?
Well, I think it's about time. The BJP, there's a defining moment and a decisive shift which way they really want to go. They also stuck in a warp. They really can't decide whether to pursue an aggressive line, a stridency that was earlier there, or to sit down with the allies and play coalition politics. They need to come out of their own situation to decide one way or the other. And this defining moment, this act by Narendra Modi, could actually help them decide which direction they actually want to go in the future. It's very important for the BJP to understand whether they can accept Modi as their face or decide how they want to play this whole game.
Yeah, but what is the comparison? In fact, let me put this to Dilip Cherian. Mr. Cherian, Modi is identified with development and governance, hailed by Indian and foreign businesses. The Delhi BJP leaders have been compromising on the party's reform credentials, opposing FDI and creating a logjam in parliament. They are seen as obstructionists, Modi is seen as a doer. What's the comparison between the two?
You know, Modi's doer image is working very well for him. If you look, 45 of the seats that he's won are in urban Gujarat. He's won 45 out of 53 urban seats in Gujarat. That means that the urban voter who understands all this is clearly understanding. He's reform-minded, he delivers what he promises, and that's what makes for a reformist kind of leadership module and leadership image. It works very well for him. But also don't forget that Narendra Modi's 5 ministers, including his agriculture minister, has lost. So, in a sense, does that image travel beyond the cities?
Let's not soft-pedal the issue of the rivalries in the BJP, which are going to get sharper and much more heightened because now Narendra Modi is who he is. He is the leader over all others, and those who now suddenly have lost their stature are not going to like that. Sambit Patra, I'm going to try to ask you this, I'm not sure how you'll respond, but the fact is that Nitin Gadkari's election was postponed miraculously just before the Gujarat results were to be announced. You claim there were technicalities, fine. There are several other senior leaders in the BJP who are not comfortable with Narendra Modi, who see him as a threat to their own stature. His coming to Delhi may gladden, like I said, many hearts, but it's also striking fear in many.
Not at all, Jahangir.
Come on, admit it.
I'm coming to the point. In fact, hats off to BJP that it's a party which has allowed regional satraps to grow, has given space to the regional satraps. It's not just Modi. We have Chauhan also, and we have Mr. Raman Singh as well, who have grown within their own states and who have proved that, well, yes, development plan can always play positive politics. But in contrary to this, Congress has always tried to show the seeds of family.
You're not answering the question. In all this stuff, what you're not answering is that your own party is, I'm not saying, I don't know how much, half, quarter, 10%, I don't know. But there are enough people in your own party to merit us talking about it, are worried and afraid that Narendra Modi has won, that he's coming to Delhi because, as that was the expression we said, really, he's going to rock their boat. Now, we're just joined by Shrikant Sinha, the minister from New Delhi. Sir, do you see Narendra Modi's victory as a victory just of development, or is there also an undercurrent of the victory of Hindutva?
I tell you, it's a victory, Narendra Modi. They have just contended with these 115 seats, and they have retained their position there. And I will not say that the Moditwa politics, though the Congress has gone 2 or 3 states extra from the last election, but if you look at the percentage of the votes the Congress has polled, it is much more, about 5% excess than the previous votes. So we have equally also gained. But electorally, if you look at this, yes, they have retained 115 seats out of 117 seats last time.
The question I'm trying to ask you is that Narendra Modi's official campaign, Narendra Modi, when he campaigned, talked mainly and perhaps only about development. But his critics say, many at this table say, many outside through the day have been saying to us, that he always speaks with an unspoken message of being the champion of Hindutva because of the history and record of 2002. Do you see that? Do you believe that to be the case?
Look, Gujarat is not the entire country. The politics of Modi and Mr. Modi and the politics of BJP. Yes, who will be the leader in the next election, 2014, that is up to the BJP. But what we consider that the Moditwa politics in India will be totally outrightly rejected, even if they project him as their prime ministerial choice.
I just want to ask Srikanth one question.
Yeah,
Srikanth, I just want to ask you a question. You right now told that Gujarat is not entire country's reflection. With a very sorry state of mind, I ask you that you are a union minister and you should see Gujarat as an inclusive part of the country and a reflection of the whole country, in fact. So why do you try to demean the people of Gujarat, the verdict of the people of Gujarat? You should not try in doing that. Moditwa and his development has won in Gujarat, and you should respect that. Moditwa,
plank
of development, that's what the word he is using.
If you look at this election, please have it, please. If you take the Himachal also along with Gujarat and Himachal, the two BJP states, and the BJP lost in Himachal Pradesh. Why are you not looking at that also?
Yes, we are gracefully
BJP
accepting
of Gujarat is separate,
we are
and the
gracefully
BJP
accepting
of Himachal is separate.
Are you accepting?
Yes.
Are you also gracefully accepting that
Yes.
the loss in Himachal was largely due to the
What
charges of corruption that stand
Poor
against
government.
Dumas?
This needs introspection as to why we lost. Within
So-
few
so you're
minutes,
not
we will not be
gracefully
able
accepting
to.
that?
Yes,
Yeah.
we accept the mandate what the people have given us, but that does not go to say that Gujarat's model is different from India's model. We have to accept that Gujarat's people are equally responsible as Indian
No,
people.
I have to say something.
Amarji, just two quick points.
Go ahead.
In fact, in sync with what Srikanth Jena was saying, it is very interesting that when you talk, I'm amazed that when we talk about Gujarat model or Moditwa, we only talk about Muslims and minorities. No. Large number of secular-minded people are uncomfortable with the idea of politics. What Mr. Narendra
But
Modi...
Narendra Modi denies. Look at his language. He's only talking about development. That's the question. That do you accept that he's a man who stands for development, or do you believe that there is an unspoken undercurrent of Hindutva?
Jahangir, a person who speaks about development should come clean and straight on all development indicators. Are we allowed to get answer on malnutrition, on sex ratio, on poor housing, on unavailability of
But
drinking
these are
water?
all again issues of development.
These are issues of
So
development.
you accept that his mandate is based and built and
In
perhaps
fact,
broken on
no,
development.
no. In fact,
That the shadow of 2002, if you can put, it's a mild term, the shadow of 2002, but does not cast, on Narendra Modi. He's free of it.
Jahangir. In fact, in this studio
So
right
do you
now...
believe he's free of it?
Right now, no. I will not. Many in the media want us to believe in spite of 2002. I'll not buy that in spite of. What I'm saying, the Cherian is here. Large number of brand making for Modi is based on grey propaganda. In fact, I would like to know from Mr. Cherian, because he understands these nuances better than us.
As far as the brand Modi is concerned, there are two interesting aspects which have been thrown up in this election. One is that he has clearly won Muslim votes this time. There's no doubt about that. If you look at Bharuch, the figures are quite telling, and the victory shows that Muslim votes have actually moved in favor of Modi. That's one. The second thing, I think, and equally telling, and I'm no no analyst of post-election victory speeches, but for the first time you've heard the word sorry from Mr. Modi. So he's clearly giving a speech in Hindi, and he's saying sorry twice for whatever sins that he has not mentioned, which means that he's clearly trying to clean up.
Let's take a look at that statement for the benefit of viewers who may not have quoted earlier in the day. Let's look at this apology for unknown reasons.
That's right.
That if we can call it that Narendra Modi gave in Gujarat.
कहीं कोई मेरी गलती रह गई हो तो मैं मेरे 6 करोड़ गुजराती भाइयों बहनों उसके लिए मैं आप सबकी क्षमा मांगता हूं.
Okay, Sambit Patra, what was that apology?
It is a very natural apology. Anywhere we make a speech, we say this, that if at all I've committed something, please do forgive me. It was very natural that it's such a huge affair election. He might have committed a few mistakes of overseeing certain issues.
I have not spoken
Did it include
2002?
Let Amarjit come in here.
Did he say about 2000? Why should he be sorry for 2002? Which he did not commit. He did not commit any crime in 2002. Why should he be sorry for that?
It was a crime against humanity.
He did not commit it. Whoever committed should be feeling sorry for it.
Three things I want to say.
Do you think he's even sorry that it happened, that it allowed to go on for so long, for a strong man who is such an authoritarian leader, who is so much in control? The fact that there was such an extended period of such intense violence in his state, do you think that kept him awake at night?
I surely believe it must have kept him awake at the night, and the whole matter is sub judice. I believe let the court take the decision and let us see what the decision is.
Three things I want to say. First is, when you were saying he is coming to Delhi, will rock the boat of BJP or rock the boat of others and all. Yes, this will happen. Not only. Because in India's coalition politics, it's not that easy to have it. Second thing is that RSS, these leaders are not only afraid, BJP leaders, that their spaces will be difficult. Whole issue is the fear of not having allies if Narendra Modi is projected. The chance of NDA coming to power becomes bleak. Even that fear is there.
So a lot of people actually welcome Narendra Modi to be the chief campaigner candidate of the BJP because it consolidates votes in opposition to the BJP.
The third thing which you said, sorry, he is dreaming to come to Delhi, and he knows in India, until and unless you have a moderate image, you will not be acceptable. So this sorry is not so innocent sorry.
Jahangir, before coming to your studio, I was actually listening to this entire speech. अगर हिंदी में कहूं तो ये उन्होंने कहानी शुरू की थी चुनाव के महीनों की. He is referring to the speeches made during elections. He is not going into past. Please remember that. Many of us in media and in, say, analysts have the tendency to see things in people, see things in particular in Narendra Modi, which he absolutely lacks.
No, but is this
remorse
exactly,
is not part of his character.
Ijaz, I want to ask you, a blessing and a curse. Narendra Modi, a leader above all other BJP leaders, but a leader who will attract massive amounts of criticism to the party. He'll affect the relationships with parties like the JDU. He will affect the way secular Indians, Muslims and other minorities look at the BJP. Today, you could really say that there's nothing really to hit the BJP with. But with Narendra Modi at the forefront of the party, you're going to have two massive sticks with which you can break its head.
You know, actually such sentiments will come out from people opposed to Modi, and I firmly believe that the majority of this country, the majority of the Hindus itself have rejected the ideology of Hindutva and Moditva for a long, long time. Pan-India, I'm not talking about Gujarat alone. He finds much more resonance in Gujarat, but outside Gujarat, it's a different story. If you see the results of
many parties, Amarjit referred to it, would be happy, would love to see Narendra Modi at the forefront of the BJP. That's what you were saying, because the average Indian is different from the average Gujarati, and you may try to turn that into an insult of Gujaratis, but it's not. It is a statement of fact that the Gujarati voter reacts differently to Narendra Modi than other Indian voters and citizens.
See, Jahangir, today suddenly what appears is all the other parties and everyone is more concerned about BJP's future than BJP itself is. Let BJP ponder over the
future affects the nation's future.
Yes, let BJP ponder over its future, let the parliamentary board meet and take a decision. Before a decision is taken, why do we jump into the arena?
Like a reason to don't ask me hard questions. No, that's a polite way to tell me, let me worry about my future, don't ask me hard questions.
Jahangir, on the apology bit, I want to say something. Let me say this, I don't think the apology was in 2002. The people affected by the riots and the sentiments of people who were affected by the riots, they have not asked for an apology. They don't want any remorse, repentance or regret. They want legal closure. People who are responsible, under whose watch this happened, they should be put behind bars when they are found guilty by the right courts, and that's important.
And Ajaz, psychological closure also. Psychological closure also.
Psychologically it has been closed.
No,
crossing 50% mark of vote share.
What
psychologically closed.
Okay. Hold on. One second, because we're going back to what we already discussed. I'll tell you what. We've talked a lot about what Narendra Modi do to unsettle the BJP leadership in Delhi. Since the Congress's Shrikant Jaina is with us for just a few more minutes, let me ask how that might affect the Congress. Mr. Jaina, Narendra Modi coming to Delhi, how nervous does that make your party, the Congress party?
We don't mind. He's the Chief Minister of Gujarat, and he is supposed to come to Delhi. He may attend the NDC meeting. So we don't bother what is the BJP's
what we mean, Mr. Jaina, is of Narendra Modi becoming a leader in Delhi. What we mean is about him becoming a leader in Delhi, about him being the man who will stand opposite Rahul Gandhi a year or so from now.
Look, that is... Listen to me. You are... I think it is BJP will have to take a decision and take a call whether they are going to project Mr. Narendra Modi as their Prime Minister candidate or not. That is up to the BJP. Once they decide, the first thing will happen. You forget about what Congress will react to that, but the first thing, the NDA will collapse. That is my assessment. The moment they decide about Narendra Modi, the NDA will collapse.
Once again, Mr. Jana, Ijaz, I want to ask you, is it natural that after the Gujarat result today, people are going to speculate, is it going to be Modi versus Rahul in 2014? What do you think, and how do you think the two will pair up against each other?
You know, we in the media would love to have something like this happen. But don't forget, it's about government formation ultimately. Both the formations, the UPA, NDA would look, the UPA would like to have a third term, the NDA would like to come back to power after having been rejected twice in 2004-9. So it's really the internal dynamics.
But how does Modi versus Rahul pair up, Ijaz?
How will it pair up? I think it'll be a very even match. It'll be a good battle.
Dr. Parker is laughing. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because Rahul versus anyone from NDA is a win-win situation for the NDA.
Well, that's what they're saying about Narendra Modi. That Narendra Modi is going to attract criticism to the BJP of the kind the BJP has never faced in a national election.
Time would prove it.
Let's take a look at the story we put together that compares the two men who could basically be head-to-head in 2014 or even earlier as the political life in India is going right now. Let's take a look.
The two men who take each other on in 2014 are already trading insults.
सिर्फ एक व्यक्ति करता है गुजरात में, जो भी होता है सिर्फ एक व्यक्ति करता है और कोई कुछ नहीं करता है। ये आपको बताया जा रहा है। आपको बताया जा रहा है कि गुजरात में इनसे पहले कोई प्रगति नहीं हुई। ये आए हैं तो प्रगति शुरू हुई है। बहुत अच्छी मार्केटिंग है।
એમણે કહ્યું કે નરેન્દ્ર મોદી અને રાહુલ ગાંધીની કોઈ તુલના જ ન થઈ શકે. એ તો રાષ્ટ્રીય નેતા છે, મોદી તો ખાલી ગુજરાતના નેતા છે. એનું 50% ભાગનો સ્વીકાર કરું છું. એમને લાગતું હશે કે આમ કહીને મોદીને ગાળ દે છે. અરે મને ગર્વની વાત છે કે હું ગુજરાતનો છું, ગુજરાત માટે છું, 6 કરોડ ગુજરાતીઓને સમર્પિત છું. અરે તમે તો રાહુલ ગાંધીનું અપમાન કરો છો. તમે કહો છો કે રાહુલ ગાંધી રાષ્ટ્રીય નેતા છે. એ રાષ્ટ્રીય નહીં, આંતરરાષ્ટ્રીય નેતા છે.
It's a fight of the ordinary versus princely, of one generation versus another, of two very distinct personalities. 60-year-old Modi, now likely to be a 3-time chief minister, got his RSS lessons on the street.
Do you think that 2014 election will be Modi versus Rahul?
No. Modi is not a challenge to us. No, it's not a challenge to us.
If you ask me, for Rahul to be the Prime Minister of this country will be a disaster.
Rahul, 18 years his junior, learned his politics on his grandma's knees. Modi likes to taunt Rahul as a kid.
રાહુલ બાબાએ અહીંયા એક વાર્તા કરી. એમણે એમ કહ્યું કે ગાંધી બાપુનો હું શિષ્ય છું અને હું ગાંધીજીના પદચિહ્નો પર ચાલુ છું. ગાંધીજીની બધી ઈચ્છા પૂરી કરશો કે નહીં કરો.
Rahul invokes Gandhiji to take the higher road.
एक व्यक्ति का सपना चल रहा है और वो गुस्से की राजनीति करते हैं. मुझ में इतना सा भी गुस्सा नहीं है. मैंने उस गुस्से को रख दिया है, मगर गुस्से से व्यक्ति अंधा हो जाता है. मैं अंधा था और जब मैंने गुस्से को नीचे रखा, ठीक से दिखाई देना शुरू हो गया.
He's the outreacher everyone in India would like to sit at this table. Modi is the outcast allies shrink from and insult his name.
हमारा जो भी स्टैंड है वो जगजाहिर है, इसलिए इस बात को कहना, हम लोग अपना चुनाव देख रहे हैं और इतना तय है कि यह प्रश्न भारतीय जनता पार्टी को हल करना है.
And nations deny him visas. Even Modi's own party fears he will split it, while congressmen see Rahul as their key unifier. Two men with different pasts and very different resumes, both competing to push India down its road to modernity, selling themselves in new ways. hoping to woo you, the voter, and take charge of the destiny of 1.2 billion Indians. Harish Jala in Ahmedabad for NewsX.
Shrikant Jaina from the Congress. Can Rahul Gandhi counter Narendra Modi?
It is not required. Don't compare Mr. Rahul Gandhi with Narendra Modi. If you go to the history, in 2007 election, Narendra Modi won the assembly election. After that, subsequent to that, the Lok Sabha election. How many seats, Lok Sabha seats, Narendra Modi won from Gujarat, and how many Congress seats? Congress party
But
won.
Mr. Jaina, you know it's very simple for the BJP to argue. Mr. Jaina, it'd be very simple. But Mr. Jaina,
I want to ask a question to Mr. Shrikant Jaina.
Go ahead.
Mr. Shrikant said that in fact Rahul and Narendra Modi are not comparable. I don't know in which sense he said, but he was right. They are not comparable in the sense that I feel nauseating to the fact of entitlement that Rahul has. Apart from being born in the first family of India, what other talents does he have? Can Mr. Shrikant Jaina enumerate these talents for us?
Let Mr. Jaina answer that. Yeah, please answer Dr. Patra from the BJP. What are Rahul's other talents other than being born?
Please listen me. Please listen me.
Yeah.
Please listen.
Yeah.
No, please listen to me. Please listen to me. Yes. In the assembly election of Uttar Pradesh, Congress didn't do well. But in the Lok Sabha election, if you look at the Lok Sabha election, the electorate, they prefer Congress party. The same way, the Gujarat also. The Gujarat election, the assembly, they voted for BJP, but for the Lok Sabha, they voted in favor of the Congress party. And you will see the Lok Sabha election is totally different.
But what has this got to do with Rahul Gandhi?
So therefore,
but Mr. Jaina, what has this got to do with Rahul Gandhi?
I have to say something here. Rahul Gandhi can get votes in Gujarat in Lok Sabha.
Please listen me.
Yeah.
My point, no, listen to me. It is not in India. This is not a presidential election we are going to face. And this is purely a different election altogether. It's not American election. We are projecting a person. It may be in the part of the BJP, but the Congress party believes in a different philosophy altogether.
But that almost sounds defensive. That almost sounds defensive, Shrikant Jaina. That almost sounds like if it was a presidential election, your man would lose.
I tell you,
any election he is gone. And I want to ask one question to Mr.
Listen
Jaina.
to me. Please listen to me. That's a hypothetical conclusion. Please listen to me. Please listen to me. Please ask Mr. Nitish Kumar whether he is going to accept Mr. Narendra Modi as the leader of the NDA. Then you put this question to Congress party.
Shivraj Singh is here. He's a spokesperson for the Janata Dal United. Your national secretary, what would you like to say?
I don't have to say it again. You have played the sound bite and the whole that, what do you call that bite of Nitish Kumar. He said that we will take a call. This is for BJP to take a call as to who will be the prime ministerial candidate. And let me also tell you that he, till 2 days ago, he has said that he has nothing to do with
a clause, yes, I will not accept Narendra.
He has never said that. He has never said that. He has never said that. Play me that sound bite.
Again, put this question.
He has never said that. He has never said that I will not accept Narendra Modi. He has only said that it is the prerogative of the Bharatiya Janata Party to take a call on the question of who will be the prime minister candidate. But I have one question for you, Mr. Jaina.
The BJP leadership, even Narendra Modi should not campaign in Bihar. Even Narendra Modi should not campaign in Bihar.
Why should he campaign in Bihar? He was the chief minister of Gujarat and our party was sufficient to get votes for. We did that. So why should he campaign in Bihar? My chief minister did not require anybody to campaign in Bihar. It was that simple.
No, that was the condition.
Otherwise, somebody could have said that it was votes getting from that chief minister, this chief minister. Nitish Kumar's leadership was more than sufficient to get him a second term and he will get another term. So what is the problem?
Nitish wants to keep his vote bank intact. Nitish wanted to keep his vote bank intact, and that is the same.
Mr. Jaina has asked me many questions. I want to ask one question to Mr. Jaina.
Okay, Shivraj Singh has a question from Mr. Jaina. Go ahead.
Mr. Jaina, I have one question. Mr. Jaina, I have one question. You said that Mr. Modi...
One at a time, please.
Pardon, sir?
Yes, one at a time.
One at a time, yeah.
I'm just asking, putting your statement back in form of a question. You said that Narendra Modi got a huge victory in 2007. But where was that victory in the next Lok Sabha election? Now, I have to ask, you said that Congress party got... I just have to ask one thing, that Rahul Gandhi got huge victory in Gujarat and in Andhra Pradesh. It was because of Rahul Gandhi. In Kashmir, it was because of Rahul Gandhi. In Tamil Nadu and Kerala. What happened in his own Lok Sabha constituency? He could not get one MLA seat in Raebareli and Amethi. Tell me that.
Why are you bringing... Listen me, why are you bringing... No, if you want to debate, why are you bringing Rahul Gandhi in this debate?
Because that question was asked, and you are answering to that question.
Because we are talking, Mr. Jena, about the prospect of Modi versus Rahul
Mr. Gadkari is going to accept Narendra Modi or not?
That Mr. Patra will say.
There won't be elections on Narendra Modi versus Rahul.
Has Mr. Gadkari accepted this position?
2014 will be actually an election.
Okay,
you
let me put this to you and to Mr. Jena. Mr. Jena, part of the problem was that this time, even Sonia Gandhi, even Rahul Gandhi, when they went to Gujarat, refrained from attacking Narendra Modi on Hindutva. But now, if he steps onto the national stage, he will be opening himself up to much more attacks on Hindutva. The BJP will be opening itself up to much more attacks on Hindutva. In a sense, you should be happy if the BJP front Narendra Modi, because then you can go after the man on this issue of 2002. Don't you believe that Hindutva is the core issue? It's the unspoken issue.
To whom you are putting this question? To
putting
me?
It to you also, sir.
Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Jena, we're asking you, don't you believe that the real concern is Hindutva? It's not Narendra Modi because of
even the BJP, listen, even the BJP itself has lost its Hindutva after the Babri Masjid demolition. They have also forgotten about Hindutva because they know what is going to happen if they pursue this matter further. Narendra Modi is also equally saying the same thing. So development, what development he has brought in? Most of the development...
Mr. Jena, whatever development he has brought in, the people of Gujarat have answered that. Please, Mr. Jena, whatever development Mr. Modi has brought in has been answered by the people of Gujarat. Show some respect to this part of the country also. They have voted in more than 50%.
Listen me.
We are listening to you since long.
Please listen.
Yes.
Yes, I agree. I agree. You have got some few lakhs of extra votes over Congress party. But that doesn't mean that you have the mandate of the 6 crore people.
My God, what does this mean? The UPA government is not
the debates cannot go like this.
This is demeaning to the people of Gujarat when you say that
Mr. Modi has
not got the mandate of the people. This is a wrong statement. This is a wrong statement. No, he should retract. The union minister, please. The union minister should retract this statement.
Listen me.
He has got the mandate of the people of Gujarat. Saying that he has not got the mandate is a wrong statement. Please retract the statement.
I agree. Who says?
You said that he has not got the mandate of the people.
I got your point.
What is the mandate of people? It is the mandate of the people.
Let me clarify. Don't get angry. You are behaving like Narendra Modi.
No, please. This is not taken personally.
Jahangir.
Obviously, he has to behave like Narendra Modi. You are not supposed to behave like Lalu Prasad Yadav.
Don't show extra loyalty.
You can behave like Lalu Prasad Yadav.
What I was saying, Mr. Jena,
I don't know what the judgment is.
Mr. Jena, can you
let's hear from Manoj. Go ahead, Manoj.
Mr. Jena, though I am in sync with what you said, but what my problem is that Congress is not proactive on secularism. Congress should have spoken about this alternative politics in Gujarat, which is shied away.
Okay.
And that I believe.
Make BJP pass the...
Make BJP that is my complaint against Mr. Jha also, that they are not proactive on secularism. And here I will bring Bhagalpur riots. His complaint against Jena, the same complaints I have against him.
You hold the debate between
But that's a valid...
You speak on the debate.
I'll tell you what the bottom line is.
Are you worried, Dilip Cherian, that the issue that could be one of development in this country, could actually degenerate into Hindutva, because as I was saying, no matter what words are on Narendra Modi's lips, the unspoken message is one that I am the champion of Hindutva, and that's how he's perceived in Gujarat and across much of India.
You know,
and is India, that's an unhealthy thing for India, do you think, going forward?
If Modi is smart, and I believe, and I have reason to believe that he is smart, he will recognize the kind of issues come 2014 which will find resonance with the majority of this country. Second, I also believe, after having heard his speech, and though I agree with my friend Ejaz that the speech may have referred only to the process of electioneering, but I think that this is the man who knows also how to backpedal when necessary. In Gujarat, his image as the strong man of Gujarat, the man for development, is necessary. But if Mr. Modi knows the image that can win him India, if that is his,
Mr. Charan, you saying that Modi also knows how to backpedal, but two things over here. Number one, will he be able to live down 2002? And number two, does he frighten more people than he excites, or the other way around?
You know, the toss-up there is between whether more people in India and young people in India are looking for development, or whether they want to bury other social issues. And at this point of time, all bets are off, because we don't know how this new generation of 18 to 24 or 18 to 30 voters, many of who are voting in national elections with an open mind.
No, Manoj, you're shaking your head, but I think that's the point.
Yes.
Indians are so fed up with the lives that these people in power have given them across all their states, that they are willing to forego, even if you use your vocabulary, they are willing to forego their values and their desire for justice for someone who can promise them growth and development. And if Narendra Modi is authoritarian, but if he gets things done, they will love it. And you can sit here and shake your head, and we can all try to pontificate on this, but the fact is,
reject that kind of secularism which is required to put a blanket on Chara Ghotala and 2G Ghotala. Secularism to most of the parties is to put a blanket on corruption. That is all.
Jahangir, I will not comment upon somebody's
younger generation. I would not like to blame younger generation.
No, I will not comment upon somebody's idea of secularism if he does not even read the primer on secularism.
No, you are the Pandit of secularism. You are a PhD on secularism.
No, Twitter,
and we are nothing.
Facebook. India is much beyond people who are active on Facebook and Twitter. It's a complex country. It's a large country.
The point is, Narendra Modi stands today.
It is as complex as Bihar.
Narendra Modi stands today for development, a man who delivers things and gets things done. There's no point arguing that. That is the image of the man.
Who said that?
That is exactly how people. Let me show you how people across India. Let me show you how people across India reacted when we asked them what they look to Narendra Modi for and what they expect for him to do for the country going forward.
Did you ask them about social indicators? Only construction of roads and jams. This is not development. At least we will not buy that.
I want to talk on that. You said 18 years to 24 years, this younger generation, how they will react. This younger generation is conscious of human rights. They want better society. You saw how on corruption issues they came up. How they are on roads on this question of rape.
A lot of young people, they want jobs. Young people want jobs. Young people want jobs that pay them enough money to be able to buy houses that cost 50 years' salary.
I want to come one point has to be
Why do you believe everybody?
Please, just a point.
The
irony.
But why do you believe all young people think homogenously?
One question is that Mr. Jha is the most learned man on the earth on secularism and all that. He's a professor. We are like fools. Just I want to know one thing. They are giving such flowery speech on human rights, human index indicators. What is their action to substantiate their words? Let me ask that. Where were their human indicators when they were ruling Bihar? Where was their human indicators?
I have to come in. No, 1 minute.
You asked that question in a decent
way. Okay, there are two valid points around the table. There are two valid points around the table. 1 minute, sir. There are two. We'll come to you. There are two valid points on the table. What did your party do in Bhagalpur, and what are the human indicators that you produced in Bihar and in
I
West
beg
Bengal
you
when
to
you were
answer
running?
with folded hands.
Jahangir, you
with
can...
folded hand, I request Jahangir, who I presume that is a decent man, to ask my indecent
You can
question.
take that for granted, sir.
Or Dilip Cherian or you or anybody to ask my indecent question in most decent words, that where was their secularism after Bhagalpur riots? Where were their human index indicators when Bihar became the most backward state in their regime? Please ask this question in the most decent way.
Let Manoj answer that.
I should be allowed to answer that,
Yeah, go
because
ahead.
I'll not go by the typical television bites, that one moment and it's off. I tell you,
Go ahead.
Vishwa Hindu Parishad was instrumental. If you want, my book is available, and other commission reports are available. Right, commission reports of Bihar government.
There was a mad guy in JNU. I am from JNU. I am also not from some roadside dhaba studies. There was a mad guy in JNU. He went to his professor with his thesis. He went to his professor with a thesis.
I refuse to.
Jahangir, it's about Gujarat, it's not about Bihar.
Sorry. I'm sorry, I'm going off.
It's about Gujarat, it's not about Bihar.
I will not, because I will not get
Let's give Manoj, that would be wrong.
Let me bring in a new question.
If you've been asked allegations, you please let them
allow me to answer.
Yeah, answer it.
You allow me to answer.
We have Mr. Cherian,
what about the development record of Lalu Rabri also?
That is what I want to ask.
Privileged debate.
You cannot have question and you want everybody else to speak on it. I said the Right Commission report in Bihar, please refer to, online it is available. VHP and BJP were solely responsible. Process of conviction started. Some of them were convicted, 87 were convicted. I tell you, when the first regime of Mr. Lalu Prasad was there, but I will not defend that. What I am saying, second part, development also means a sense of participation. A huge chunk of population.
But mainly, it means statistics.
That means you don't deliver roads, you don't have electricity, you don't have sanitation, you don't have water, but there's a sense of participation.
Yes.
And that's what you give them.
When you ask them development,
if you want all your question and your answer, then don't go on anybody else.
That's the party which has won.
Have one point answer, you listen to me.
Then again, you are also becoming indecent.
The party which has won.
You are also becoming indecent. You will be charged with indecency.
The party which has won can make one point.
Sambit Patra.
I just want to make.
If you ask them development, they will go to human index indicator. If you ask them human index indicator, they will go to participation.
Jahangir, the irony is today the maximum
decibels.
The irony is the maximum decibels are from the party which have lost their votes, and they're talking about the votes.
They are nowhere.
Votes. BOATS votes. The ones which have lost their votes are talking about the votes of others. In fact, this is an irony. But the point which I wanted to make is, we all are speaking about that it is not the development plank which has won the election. It is brand Modi which has won the election. Now answer my question. What is brand Modi? Is it a set of clothing? Is it a set of spectacles? Or what is brand Modi? What is brand Modi?
Go ahead.
If not development, what is content?
Mr. Cherian will answer that.
Style without content.
Brand Modi is very simple. Brand Modi works for a particular state of Gujarat which looks for economic development.
Yes.
It is not hugely concerned about social dialogue. Clearly, they have decided to abdicate their enthusiasm for that for the moment because they've seen the benefits of development. Brand Gujarat is also about vibrant cities, and urban agglomerations are where Gujarat's image today is. If you see the holographic images that Mr. Modi used as election devices, it believes in technology, it believes in the future, and that's the image of Gujarat. So there's no question of arguing about whether brand Modi works for that market. It works, and that's why it's delivered in 3 times.
And the point is made elsewhere. And the point is made
elsewhere
beautifully by Dilip that brand
necessarily.
Modi is not about dictatorship. Brand Modi is not about having wrong indices of development. Brand Modi, in fact, means development.
But what Dilip Cherian also said is that brand Modi is only relative to
It is
Gujarat.
only relevant. It is only relevant for
peculiar to the state of Gujarat. Peculiar to the state of Gujarat.
He is the Chief Minister of Gujarat.
Yes,
but they are having social dialogue with Tata.
It finds resonance in Gujarat more than anywhere else.
Social dialogue with Tata.
Social dialogue will happen with anybody. Even in the
and that's why you are thrown out.
It's a central question. Because the point is worked in Gujarat, but can he carry the rest of the country along? That becomes a central point.
See, the development can be carried not only across the country, but it can be carried internationally, as has been proved time and again.
What does that mean? That Narendra Modi now runs Sri Lanka?
No.
I mean, what does that mean?
His model of development has always received appreciation from all quarters, and we should accept
But what
that.
about the social dialogue? Like Dilip Cherian
No,
is talking about.
Sambit, that's not right. If you are so willingly embracing all the great things people say about Narendra Modi, why don't you also embrace all the terrible things they say about him abroad? Like the United States, the world's most powerful country, the world's largest economy, you still won't give the man a visa to go attend to them. The British, who basically are trying to stay relevant in the world, are now giving him a visa because, he's won a third time. But, you can't keep having it both ways. You can't keep saying that abroad they love him and ignore the fact that abroad a lot of people also are not very comfortable with him. And I'm using a polite term because, sir, I am a decent man.
Yeah,
but
you are. I'm not. I'm from Bihar.
The issue that we are
I
faced
represent the ruling party of Bihar. No, because because I cannot be decent. I'm from Bihar.
To say that Biharis are indecent.
Okay, let's not insult Biharis or Gujaratis or any people as a group. But let's ask this question and let's just go around the table because running out of time. Yes, it could look like Narendra Modi is the most logical, the most powerful man in the BJP, and it makes sense to have him as the chief campaign and perhaps the prime ministerial candidate. But again, he is going to attract so much criticism for the BJP. We've just heard a fraction of it here on this table. Do you think it is wise, to start with you, Dilip Cherian, for this man to become the face for the BJP for 2014?
Well, let me not sort of jump the gun because at the end of the day...
Please do. That's what we're trying to get. What's your view on him as the prime ministerial candidate?
The BJP has to recognize that if it has to win 2014, it's not going to win on its own. Every psephologist who's worth a penny will tell you that in the next election, both of the national parties are not going to be, at this point of time, huge successes. So they will need partners. So Brand Modi works very well in Gujarat. The question is, does Brand Modi work for the NDA as it stands today? It works for some elements of it, but it doesn't work across the board. And without the
Narendra
NDA,
Modi good in 2014 or not for the BJP?
I think the BJP needs to define itself and come out of the rut that they're stuck in, and they can't go forward or backwards. So it could be a defining moment for them. But I think having Modi as heading the BJP campaign, I don't think it's a good idea. They might end up losing their existing allies also.
Manoj, let's ask you, Modi versus Rahul in 2014. What kind of a matchup could that be?
Let me first clarify. I'm not a Congress spokesperson, so I'll not go for that. But I'll say about what Jahangir was asking, that false face must hide what the false heart does know. Modi's brand of politics is absolutely antithetical to the very ideas which are
what
told
would
to us.
him in 2014 mean?
2014, if Modi goes for BJP, I believe that India shall completely reject this very idea of Modi kind of politics. India shall choose a secular leader.
Shivraj Singh.
I have to ask one question. If you are such a big political pundit, why didn't you tell all these things to Lalu Prasad Yadav to do something on development, human index and all that? Why are you sparing all these wise movements for Modi or for BJP or for JDU? Why are you sparing all these intelligence? You have such books and Almira and
Bihar election also.
Why didn't you give all these advices to Lalu Prasad Yadav?
We're running out of time. I'll have to say that you've given up.
You should not give this wisdom to Patra's party. Why?
Yeah.
Not even to us, because we don't require it.
BJP won't be able to project Narendra Modi, otherwise they themselves will be in a big problem. And good for India, good for India
Very
if he doesn't become PM.
Anybody projected, NDA wins hands down.
Our defining movement would be defined by our parliamentary board.
That was such a letdown to a great show and to such great comments for everyone. But I want to thank all our guests for being with us, but sorry, Sambit, you don't have the last word. The last word belongs to the people of India. We spoke to them across the day today to ask them what they thought about Narendra Modi, and before we go, we're going to leave you with their voices. But don't go away. After that, there's much more news coming up right here on NewsX on the other side. Thanks for watching and good night.